Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Force for Growth Live. I'm Ricardo.
I'm Michelle.
And I'm Courtney, and thank you for joining us for our first episode of 2021. No, I'm sorry, it's our second because we did on Friday. But new on our journey this year is you can go like and share and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. So we are now live with our Facebook page and now live with our Instagram page at Force for Growth. So you should pop over and follow and tell us what you think.
Yes, for sure.
But yes.
I'm excited, y'all. It's our first episode, part one challenge. Challenge. So, throughout the whole month of January, we're going to explore and dive deep into every single aspect of challenge. Challenges you face, challenges you encounter, challenges that come into your life unexpectedly, and how to handle it. Give you tools, tips, strategies, and thoughts on how to deal with every challenge that you may face or encounter. Whew, four-part series, y'all.
I'm excited.
Excited for this one. Excited for this one.
Me
And
too.
this morning, the thought I have here to share with you is one of the biggest challenges that you will encounter is, are you able to be uncomfortable with yourself? Because does life always work out in your favor? Do you get to do everything and anything that you want to do the moment that you want to do it?
No.
Nope.
Negative.
Negative. Not so much.
Yeah.
So it's all about how to deal with that part of you that becomes uncomfortable when it doesn't feel good, when it doesn't feel right. Because here's one of the things that we're capable of doing, and we're capable of doing it so quick that it's instantaneous. We're able to talk ourselves into feeling a certain way instantaneous. For the most part, several of us, and I've struggled with this in the past, we go to the negative. We can make ourselves feel bad and crappy and unpowerful and down just by simply the way that we talk. But just as easy, we can also feel good about a situation that we might not need to feel so good about. We can feel good about a situation that we should feel uncomfortable about. That if we actually dive into that part of ourselves that's uncomfortable, that it'll fuel us up because it's what? Feedback.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
feedback. So
And you
what do
don't
you guys
grow in your
think?
comfort zone.
You don't.
No.
Mm-mm.
No. So it's okay to feel uncomfortable. It's okay to sit in it. It's okay to say, okay, this is not really where I want to be in my life. Something has to change versus, you know what? I'm positive Paul, and everything that happens to me, I can see the light and I can see the positivity and I can make it good and I can make it in my favor and I can twist it in my mind. So it's always a positive, which is a good thing. I'm not saying that it's not. All I'm saying is it's okay to dive and feel the discomfort.
I've got a
Mhm.
couple of things on that. One, there I think is a huge um, what's the word? Misunderstanding between within the personal growth and development world. It's not positive thinking. Positive thinking does not work. That's not what personal growth is. Sometimes personal growth is working through the negative thinking. It is, we have tools like gratitude and things like that to make our lives better and turn negatives into positives, but it's not positive thinking. You can't think your way into a good mood. I think it was Tony Robbins I heard on a podcast or something like that where he said you can't if you could think yourself into a good mood, we wouldn't need counselors, we wouldn't need personal growth, because if you could just say positive words or think positive thoughts, we wouldn't have depression, we wouldn't have anxiety, we wouldn't have all the things. It's not that easy, but there are tools that you can implement to help you through those negative moods. The other thing that I wanted to say is it's something that I've kind of had a realization on recently is it's okay to feel those feelings. And Courtney, you touched on that this morning in our 6 a.m. call. But it's okay to feel sadness. It's okay to process through those negative feelings and kind of just let yourself feel them, because like you said, Ricardo, it's feedback. And so what is the feedback trying to tell me? And if you don't allow yourself to feel those feelings, you're not going to get the message that the feedback is giving you. So those two things I think are important in terms of a challenge in allowing yourself to feel outside your comfort zone.
And it's hard.
Yeah.
We're not
Mhm.
saying it's easy. We're
No.
not saying that it's going to feel good. We're not saying that it's rainbows, unicorns, and lollipops, because it's not.
No.
But it's an important part of self-development, is stepping up to the challenge of being uncomfortable, allowing yourself to sit in the negativity for a certain period of time, listen to it, find out where it's coming from, analyze it, and make a shift based around that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is huge for, okay, well, so two things. So one, I always have this vision of, so I volunteer and crewed for Tony Robbins after I attended my first initial UPW, and just this image of Jonathan, the crew coordinator, and he's kind of given the prep talk for how coaching crew, we get there a day early. And so we kind of get a day's worth of training. And so this is the prep talk. And basically the overall like theme always is at that opening session. It's like, hey, we are about to do great things. We are about to change people's lives. But if we are not flexible, none of this will happen. And he like throws his leg up into the tree pose and does this yoga thing because he's like, because here at Tony Robbins, we're flexible, baby. And, that's a play on the 6 human needs and the uncertainty and certainty. And, once you get to where you're volunteering for crew, you're very deep in that. But to elaborate what Michelle, so I struggle with being too, as a defense mechanism for once struggling for being much too hard on myself, I'm often too soft on myself now. And I don't know if that's the right way to phrase it, but it feels like I'm too soft. So it's like somebody else might be like, no, you're doing a great job, Courtney. I get that. And I appreciate that feedback, but I am not happy with where I am at right now. And it's just taking that honest step and being like, okay, well, what are you unhappy with? Where are you weak? Where are you strong? Where do you need to double down? Where are you wasting your time? And so that is exactly what I'm doing right now. And kind of the end of the year and the beginning of the year, I allow myself to feel it. But Ricardo's been a great, both of you guys. Ricardo, you really, I've really fallen in the trap of over the last 5-10 years thinking I need to be just like everyone else or I'm doing it wrong. And it's like, so Ricardo's a good perspective because he's so opposite me that he's like, sometimes like you will kind of put your foot down in a friend talk that's like, no, you need to be harder on yourself right now, Courtney, just feel those feelings. Or we've had the opposite side of the conversation where it's like, you need to just like be okay. Okay, your life's like a mess. Be okay with that. Practice being okay with that, And so we've really practiced on both ends of the spectrum, and then I have the wisdom of Michelle that comes in. And it's like, you can feel it in your body if it's right or it's wrong. So that's kind of my final, it's, if you're uncomfortable, there's something there. There's buried treasure. I can't tell you what that is. I can't tell you if that's you're going to hit your outcome here and make $1 million, or you're going to fall on your face 5 times, but you're going to learn lessons that will make you $20 million. I can't tell you that. But if you're uncomfortable, that is a flag right there saying there is some reward here. There's some treasure here. So you got to chase that. And you got to be willing to look at the uncomfortable in the eye until you're willing to take that next step. So this whole being paralyzed because you're uncomfortable, stop it. We've all been there. We love you. Get up. It's not going to solve anything.
And it's hard. It's a challenge. That's why we're talking about this. That's why it's the first topic that we're talking about, because it is hard. We don't want to look at ourselves like that. We don't want to see other people like that, because we want to be positive. We want to be supportive. We want to be those people that just stand behind other people. But sometimes you got to bring out the sledgehammer. Sometimes you got to look at them in the face and be like, hey, is this really working for you? Is this really working for you? It's okay to feel bad. It's okay to feel this way. It's okay to feel defeated and like you've been stomped on and driven into the ground. Why?
Yeah.
Because that's the point where you can stand up, dust yourself off, get back up, and come back even harder than you did the first time.
sometimes we have to go through our midnight to get to our morning. And you guys know I am a recovering enabler. And whenever you enable other people, you're delaying their blessing. And that's what I learned in a big way with my daughter, especially. I always wanted to fix it. I always wanted to make it better because I can't stand to see people that I love suffer. And so I wanted to fix it. I wanted to put a band-aid on it. But what that did is it delayed her blessing. And when I finally stopped, I recognized that I was enabling because I didn't want to see her suffer. I didn't want to see her have to deal with the challenges. But when I finally stopped and I let her go through the challenges, she blossomed and she has kicked booty and she's grown so much. And I'm so proud of her. And it's an amazing thing to watch your child just blossom like that and grow into confidence. And that's one of the things, she's on here. That's one of the things that I've seen in her is her confidence has skyrocketed. And I was holding her confidence back because she had to go through those challenges. She had to overcome the challenges to build her confidence. And if I was, suppressing those challenges for her, then it prevented her from growing in that confidence. And it's just, don't do that. Don't do that to your kids, as hard as it is, or other people, even employees or coworkers or your spouse or whoever it is. Sometimes people have to go through their midnight and overcome their own challenges in order to grow. And they get so much more out of it than you putting a Band-Aid on their circumstances.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is the difference between allowing someone or you yourself slaying your own dragon and allowing someone else to do it.
Yes.
It's the
Mhm.
same thing. Are you going to
Yeah.
come out better if you slay your own dragons? Yes. Yes. Just
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
you thought, yes. You will not grow. You will not learn anything. You will not learn how to protect yourself from future dragons if someone else does it for you.
Yeah. Leslie said, need a force for growth.
I love that.
Amen.
One
That's
of the
great.
most powerful moments of my life with a family member was them looking me in my eye, and I was upset with them because they were not comforting me. They were not supporting me. I phrased it in a different way. It wasn't really a healthy way to approach it. But basically, they looked me in their eye and they were like, no, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you this will give you what you want. So don't ask me to ever again. It was like, oh, okay. And so it just, you got to have that moment with yourself. And it's
Mhm.
okay to have them, like monthly right now. Like I don't know, Michelle, you talk about looking in the eyes. If you're uncomfortable having these talks with yourself, there's your sign.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so what are some tools when you are uncomfortable and you don't know what to do? What are some tools you guys would lean towards?
So one thing I want to touch on before we go there is that you said they were not supporting you. You said they were not supporting me. They weren't
That-
supporting you the way that you wanted them or that you thought they
Yes.
needed to support you.
Correct. That was my old story, thinking they needed to cater their emotions around my own versus me grow up.
Correct.
But really, they were supporting you in
Exactly.
helping you to grow.
Which that was the most supportive comment that has
Yeah.
literally driven me for years now.
It
And it will
is.
continue
And that's
to.
a huge distinction. When you think someone's not supporting you, is that really true? Is that really true that they're not supporting you, or is it they're just not supporting you the way that you expect them to support you, or that you think they should be supporting you?
Oh, those expectations.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
They'll get us every time.
So tools. Ooh,
Yes.
tools. What are some tools that we can dive into to help people step up to this challenge, to sit comfortably with yourself? The number one tool that I can think of is actually sitting with yourself. We've learned so many tools on how to snap our state, how to get into that positive, how to abolish any negative feeling, thought, emotion that we may have, but don't execute that tool. Allow yourself to sit with it, allow yourself to feel it, allow yourself to cry. If that's what it calls for, it's okay to cry. It's okay to weep. It's okay to feel bad, but don't live there. That's the distinction that I want to make sure that everyone understands is it's okay to feel it, but you don't have to live there. You don't have to live there. Feel it enough to give you the feedback, give you what you need, analyze it, figure out where it came from, and allow it to drive you. If you can't get it to where these negative feelings drive you and push you and be like, you know what? I'm defeated right now, but I'm fixing to get right back up and come back even stronger. Go watch Rocky.
Yeah.
Just go watch Rocky. Go watch Rocky. Go watch Rocky 1 or even Karate Kid. They come back stronger after their greatest defeat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say two things. One, I'm going to say meditation, but meditation doesn't even have to be, guided meditation or anything like that. Literally just sitting and being quiet, which goes into exactly what you're saying, Ricardo. Sit still, be quiet, and let yourself feel. And then the other thing is, in that, ask yourself, what am I supposed to learn from this? What am I supposed to get out of this? How am I supposed to grow in this? But you have to get quiet and you have to get still, because if you're on autopilot, you're not going to get it. It's going to go right past you, and you're going to have to suffer that suffering over and over and over again until you stop and you pay attention to what the feedback is and ask yourself, how am I supposed to grow? What am I supposed to get from this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The meditation, of course, even if it's just 1 minute in your car alone, like, start somewhere. It's okay. And that's still where I'm at with meditation. I would love to say I've mastered the hour long, whatever. Check in with me next year. So anything is helpful. And I would add journaling. I myself,
Definitely.
I'm not necessarily a fan of writing. Like, my hand gets tired quick. I'm not going to lie. If you know me, you know I'm a note taker. Like, it is just, whenever I'm listening to some kind of input of some kind, or sitting with myself and allow myself to go there, you start to channel things. You just start to channel things, and just keep writing. Just keep writing. Even if it's like, la, 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 I need to clean the living room. La, 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 I need to this. Just keep writing. Eventually, after a few minutes, your hand will just keep writing. It'll just keep writing. And that is very magical time. It's actually called automatic writing. Like, there is a spiritual term for it. So you just keep writing, and it basically starts where your subconscious will start talking to yourself, but your brain's not necessarily there. So you learn some things about yourself. So if you have not tried that, I do challenge you to do that. And then kill echoing. I've talked enough about that. So I've given many summaries on many episodes with that, but I'll throw that one in there too.
One thing here that I wrote down is all negative emotions are not negative, because they provide you feedback. And feedback is always positive if you act on it.
Something earlier, yes. Basically, if you take the feedback, it dissolves the uncomfortable. It dissolves the uncertainty. You need to do something with the feedback. So yeah, if it's a negative feedback, pay attention. Don't just ignore it. Be like, no, I'm only looking at positive. But like, if you absorb the feedback, look at the feedback in the eye, you're not uncomfortable anymore. You're on the next level. And then it's time for another time to get uncomfortable, look at the eye, and then, ceiling, floor, ceiling.
I want to go to the comments. Ryan talked about my vision board. So my vision board this year, I have lines moving from me to my goals, and I have measurement. So that's another tool, is identify ways that you can measure what's going on. Whether it's, it may just be, it may be a number thing. It may not be, but identify ways to measure your progress to determine whether or not you're tackling that challenge or not. And then John says, if you doubt what you do next, don't. That's, stop. Like, if you don't know what to do nothing. Oprah, do nothing, wait, and the answer will come. So most situations that we find ourselves in, we do not have to act immediately. We can sit in it for a minute. But if you don't know what to do, if you're confused, whatever, then just pause and give yourself the time to process through it, just like we've been saying. And don't try to force square peg in a round hole, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Question came up for me, guys. Is the word challenge powerful? How does it make you feel when you think about stepping up to a challenge versus dealing with an issue or trying to take care of a problem?
I don't like it. I think it's overused. So
Me
I'll
too.
say like mission or conquest.
Yes.
Conquest. I just love that word. That is just a word I'll be like, what is my conquest today? So clearly I like play up things in my brain to keep myself entertained. But um if yeah, I don't like it anymore, so I changed it.
Yeah,
I
I don't like the word
100%.
problem.
Yeah.
I don't like the word problem. I don't like the word issue.
Mm.
Like it almost seems like if you just focus on issue, it's hard to find that it's hard to find that way to get over an issue.
You can reframe it because an insurance issue means you have sold the policy. So that's actually a
True.
positive term, but it's all relative, right?
It is all relative. But challenge, I
Yeah.
think of it as a mountain. When I think of the word challenge, I think about it as a mountain. And if I really want to, if I really put forth the effort, I can climb over that mountain. I can get over it. Right? Is it going to be easy? No, obviously not. It's going to be some struggle. I might even fail the first time. But eventually, if I really want to, I can climb over it.
Yeah. And something we do say often, which I don't know if we've said it too much this year, but see your goals from the top of your mountain. Don't look at them from the bottom of your mountain. And what I mean from that is when you're standing at the bottom of a mountain, how intimidating is it to look up at your goal? It's terrifying. But if you're on top of the mountain and you're envisioning as if you're already there, it's already achieved, it's done, it's in your hands. And you look down and look at, okay, what do I need to do to get there? So your vision comes from the top of the mountain, not the bottom. You're not imagining the thousands of steps ahead of you. You're just envisioning what it would be like on top. Feel the feelings of being on top of your mountain. Feel the feelings of goal achieved. What would that feel like? What would that sound like? What would you see? What would you hear? So just dive in there, but
Hmm.
top of your
I'm
mountain,
gonna
not bottom.
I'm going to agree with you on the word challenge, Courtney. I think it's very overused. And John can tell you, and I even did a Facebook Live about it the other day. I'm like, I am not calling this a challenge because there's a challenge every other day issued on Facebook or whatever. And it's
That's
like, I'm kind of tired of challenges. I called it a journey. It's, like, let's go on this journey. But because I agree with you, the word challenge, I think, is overused. There's a challenge issued every other day. And half the time you start the challenge and you never finish it, or it just fizzles out. And so that's kind of how I view the word challenge now.
I don't
Yeah.
even think of those as challenges. I see them as a marketing gimmick.
True.
Like, I'm just like,
True.
that's not even a
Yeah.
challenge. That's just you trying to sell me something.
Yeah.
So whenever I started thinking about the theme for the month being challenge, that never even came into my
Yeah.
orbit because it's like I don't even see it as anything. It's like, oh, that's just someone else trying to sell something by using the word challenge.
Yeah. So if you're creating a coaching program and you were like, oh, would you like to join my so-and-so challenge? It's your free
Yeah.
content. Maybe just change the name or just look at how you can
And
make your name more welcoming to everybody.
I will say this for marketing purposes and mindset purposes, the reason that works and the reason so many people are issuing challenges to get you into their coaching program or whatever it is because everybody wants to overcome a challenge.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah.
has a challenge that they want to overcome. So now they're like, okay, if I use the word 10-day challenge, ooh, that grabs my attention because I want to test myself and see if I'm capable of overcoming that challenge.
Mhm.
Because that's what challenge sparks into you.
Yeah.
That's what it sparks inside of you. It sparks that competition, that like side of you that's like, ooh, I want to see if I can do it. I want to test myself and see if I'm capable of overcoming that.
Yes.
And that's why so many people are using it now in that area. But
Yeah.
that wasn't even in my orbit. I don't even consider them challenges.
I get annoyed when
But
people
yeah,
come at you like, hey, try my challenge. Let me solve this. Da, 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 da. I'm like, you have never even spoken to me, but you're coming out so strong. Like, this will solve my life. You don't know how weird I am yet, bro. Like, I promise you. Anyway,
my final thought here is superheroes step up to the challenge. So do your superhero pose and get ready to face those challenges.
Yes.
yes.
Boom.
I love it.
Great
Okay,
episode, y'all.
so I'll take the next final thought. It's a lot easier than you're making it. So I just want to highlight you're making it harder than it has to be. And it is easy. But if you keep telling yourself it's hard, guess what? It's going to be hard. You win. So just step back, sit with yourself, breathe, chill out, but go. Like go. Keep going.
Do it. Final thought, Michelle.
My final thought is when you are faced with a challenge, when a challenge comes up in your life, again, sit with it, but take one tiny little baby step toward overcoming that challenge, because that's going to give you a tiny little bit of confidence to take the next step and the next step. And then you got Courtney's, what Courtney's thing is not motivation, but momentum. So
momentum, yeah.
one step after the next, after the next. So all you have to do is take the first step up that mountain, because then the next step's a little bit easier, and then the next step's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Boom. Wow. Great episode. Next week, we'll come back with part 2 on our 4-part series for the month of January. We're going to focus on challenges, facing them, overcoming them, everything and anything that we can think of in regards to challenges. Hit us up on social media, post on our post. Let us know what you would like to hear, or share any challenges that you may have faced yourself that you would like to share with us.
Yeah.
And you can find us on Force for Growth on Instagram and Facebook.
Yes.
Woo!
First Monday of the year. Woo!
First Monday of the year in the books. Face your challenges. Step up. Don't be scared. It's okay. You got this if you choose to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a great day, everybody, and we'll be back on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.